Hey everyone, my name's Dan and I'm a content designer at Microsoft. As Carmel said, I'm super excited to see everyone here. It's amazing to actually be in a space with all these people who care so much about content. Okay, Europe, as we know, is a pretty large continent. In fact, there are 750 million people or so in Europe. There are 125 unicorns in Europe as well, which is to say privately owned tech companies with a value greater than $1 billion. That sounds like quite a lot, right? But I saw this, and as someone who works in a data product these days, this seemed like an opportunity to do some math. So I headed over to my trusty Excel, and what I got from this is that means that there's one tech unicorn company for every 6 million people in Europe. Sounds pretty good. Israel, on the other hand, is a pretty small country. There are 9 million people in Israel, and there are 70 tech unicorns in Israel. And in fact, I'm sure many of the people in this room tonight work for one of those unicorns. So if we do some math again, that means that there's one unicorn for every 128,571.43 people in Israel. Now, I know I'm speaking to a room of writers, so while you probably know that sounds a bit better, let's see how much better that is. So actually, that's 50 times better, which is quite a lot better. And I think that tells you something about how impactful the tech scene in Israel has actually become, and our status these days as really one of the world leaders in this wide space. So right now, there are a ton of tech sector vacancies in Israel. How many, you might be wondering? There are 14,000, which is a pretty insane number. And when we zero in a bit closer on our space as UX writers and content designers, right now, there are over 15 companies who are hiring UX writers or content designers in Israel as we speak. So what I want to talk about today is the fact that when it comes to content design or UX writing, let's not get into that one, Israel is absolutely on the map. There it is, in fact. And I wanted to talk a bit about why that is the case and to take a chance to celebrate this amazing community that we have here and some of the incredible things that are coming out of the UX writing scene in Israel. So first, we have the #1 best-selling work on UX writing, created by Kinneret Yifra. And if you haven't got this book, I urge you to buy it because it really is an amazing, amazing must-have book. We have the biggest podcast on the discipline, created by Yuval, who'll be speaking later. We have the Hebrew-speaking microcopy community with more than 17,000 members. We have UX writing courses from the UX Writing Hub, where you can get pro mentorship. And again, like several of the mentors for this program are in this room. There's the UX Writing Library created by Kinneret Yifra again, which is an incredible resource for UX writers, both those who are new and those who are established. It's an amazing place to go and get insights. We have just launched this year the UX Writing Student Program at Wix, created by Anat Sivan. And we have speakers who have been representing us at global conferences, from Kinneret Yifra to Yuval Ketcher, Yossi Nachemi, Yael Ben David, and many more. That's not all. There's the online microcopy and UX writing course from Udemy, which at $200 will basically tell you all you need to know, I hope, about UX writing. There are university-level UX writing programs happening right now at 2 universities, if I'm not mistaken. We have dedicated software for UX writing, Frontitude, created by Thomas Gabay and Barak Simon. And again, that's an awesome tool to help your UX writing. If you haven't tried Frontitude, I really encourage you to try it out on a free trial. There's the amazing mentoring network for budding UX writers created by Ayelet Kessel. And again, I'm sure many of you are already acting as mentors on that one. On the job side, we have a fast-growing content team over at Facebook. Right now, there's 18 content designers there, and I know that they're growing pretty fast. And then there's Wix, the biggest UX writing team of any company outside the US. 33 localization UX writers work at Wix across 21 languages, and they have almost 70 UX writers in English, which is an astounding number. And of course, not to forget, the Microcopy and UX writing group on Facebook with more than 19,000 members. It's far and away the biggest UX writing community in the world. So speaking as one of the original dinosaurs of this profession, someone who has actually been UX writing since 2013, when I take a moment to think about this, I'm kind of blown away by it. It's really incredible to see how much innovation in the UX writing space is coming out of Israel. And I'm super proud and excited to be a part of this community that we've got here. In general, there really has never been a more exciting time to be a UX writer in Israel than right now. We have amazing things happening. And whatever you call yourselves these days, product writers, UX writers, content designers, what I want to say to all of you tonight is that all of us are better together. It's on each of us to take advantage of all this incredible stuff that is happening in Israel and really like run with it and make ourselves as good as we can be in this profession. So I encourage all of us to talk much more to each other across the companies and to build a strong network together. Share tips, ideas, and best practices, and get inspired by what other people are doing at other companies. Each of us can help to make this role in Israel more equal, and particularly in terms of equal pay. You know, as in the past has been a hiring manager, I'm very aware of how significant pay discrepancy is. And I think that's one place in particular where talking more amongst yourselves, we can make that better. More inclusive. Like we can make this a more inclusive space in terms of race, religion, gender, sexuality, ability level, neurodiversity, age, and background. More respected. Together, we can make our profession more respected, both by our co-workers and our leadership teams here in Israel, but also by our peers across the world. More rewarding, not just financially, but also financially. And for more of us, like all of us can help to grow this community and make it available to even more people. So just speaking personally, I'd really like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. It really is amazing to see you all here. And if you haven't already, please do join the Slack group, Content Design IL on Slack. You're very, very welcome there. It doesn't matter if you've been UX writing for 3 minutes or 3 years, like you're welcome. So please do join the group. Thank you very much.